No, 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 no heroes. No, 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 no heroes. No heroes, baby. Welcome, players. Today we're gonna have an interview with the one and only ENES playing in there in our Sunday regional. And yeah, it was a tough tournament, a 1,000-man tournament, but he went undefeated with ENEL. I think a lot of people expected Black Yellow Luffy to be on top after the previous tournaments, but ENES wanted to show us that ENEL is still good. So, ENES, why did you pick ENEL?
Thank you, Moses. Yeah, you're right. It was a really, really tough tournament. A lot of people are playing other leaders in this meta, but I decided to play Enel because I just started with this TCG. Yeah, just when OPO5 was around the corner. I like Enel very much as a character, and I also like the leader card and his effect. So I just hold him and thought I have to find a way to met this meta, and yeah, and it seems like it works very well. I have to say, also. Here in Berlin, we have a very, very great and nice community. We have a lot of great players here. So shout out to my people, to my nakamas from Mana Games. We had a lot of training here together, and yeah, that's advantage for me. You know, not everyone in every city has these opportunities like we have here in Berlin. So very, very big thanks also to my nakamas from Mana Games at this point. So um, I think everyone is just wondering about my deck and the list I'm playing.
Exactly.
So I will just jump in without wasting more time. Yeah, let's just start it. I decided to play a very aggressive version today, and yeah, it seems like it was a right decision. So I will just start now. So at first, I will go from low cost to high cost characters, and afterwards I will go to the yeah,
Events and,
events. Right.
so yeah, we
Okay.
start off pretty classic with fourth Hiyori, I would assume, you know?
Yes, very classic for heroes. It's a very nice 2K counter. The effect is nice, so that's really really classic. So the second card I decided to play 4 times is Onami. I know a lot of people just play her 2 times or decide not to play her, but I think in this aggressive version, it's important to have also cards like Onami for the trigger. For example, to make your way free to attack your opponent's life, to kill blockers yeah, 5 cost blockers. You know, we have a lot of them in this meta. So that's the reason why I decided to play her 4 times. Yeah. The next card is just Beige. Yeah, everyone know him. He's a staple
Yeah.
in um, every yellow deck, I would say. I don't have to say much about this card, I guess. So the next card is 4 times Kikunojo. Yeah, also a very nice card. I can say she just brought me one win against Gecko Moria because she came from trigger out of life, and then I had just the one body I needed to make the finish. Yeah, very very strong card. Um, Perhaps you can also say she's something like MVP in this deck. Yeah,
I
but I
think
like
she's
her
an
really
MVP.
really much. She could
I
be
think she's
MVP. Yeah, sorry.
No problem, no problem. I think Kikinojo is just an MVP in general in any Edo deck that can afford to just run it. I mean, besides Black Yellow Luffy, which is like it's different kind of deck, everybody's just running Kikinojo because a free body out of life is pretty good. So
Yes.
also before you move on, I'm curious of the Cracker. I've seen
Yes.
a lot of people just cut him in the early days. A lot of people played him because it's a body out of life. He has double attack if you are lower than your opponent, and well,
Yeah,
it's you are
that's
NS,
true.
so you.
a lot of people cut him. A lot of people just play him in Katakuri because you can search him. In Enel you can't search him. So that's the reason why I just played two copies of Cracker. Yeah, because I can search him, but he's a very useful card out of the trigger. He can be a beast in some situations. I can say that this bad boy just bring me the 8 win against Gecko Moria, another Gecko Moria. Yeah. Because I had in this situation, I had him in my second life, so in my last life, after Enel effect, my second life, he came out of my last life. My opponent just went all in with all his characters, also with his blockers. He just wanted to finish me, and then he just came out of my last life, and also my opponent had 2 lives left. I just could go with 11k on his life, gave him his 2 life. I think I had a Onami or Kikunojo also on board. So then with her and with my leader, I just took the win. So
I
I
mean,
can say
understandable.
that this card bring me my eighth win against Gecko Moria. Yeah. So the next card here is Satori.
Yeah, I mean, a
Okay,
staple
that's
in the
strong.
inner.
Yes, I think a lot of people in yellow decks or everybody just play him. So the next one is the Ace. Just 3 copies. You play him 4 times in a aggro deck. Yeah, you can. I just I just tried it 4 times, but I think because he had also no counter, I have a lot of cards with no counter. You will see at the end, and it is a little bit too risky for me in this deck list to play him 4 times. Yes, he is a great card. 5 cost, 7k rush, but you have to also keep in mind that this card is useful to finish. Yeah, you can play him when you have 2 life or less. Yes, of course, with Enel you have often this situation, but at the start of the game, if you have 2 or 3 times this card in your hand, then it's not so nice. So that's the reason why I just play him 3 times.
That is understandable.
Next one, next rusher is Enel himself. Yeah, I just play him 4 times because um, often I need a card to trash to play some effects or to gain 1 life. Yeah, and this card I can always trash because you will see at the end why, because you know the the
Yeah,
event card. Yeah, and you can just take him back from your trash. So this card also with 7 cost, 7k swing. Sometimes you just need one extra swing. Then you have him. You have a big body on board. So his effect is also very nice. So that's the reason why I play him 4 times. The next one is Charlotte Linlin, the little big mom. Just 2 times. You don't need her in every matchup, but it's always good to have big bodies in the end game. And it's also not bad to gain life when you have a good board
I
and
have a
don't need. Yeah.
sorry, I have a question regarding the Linden. So you mentioned earlier that you wanted to have an aggressive list, trying to rush them down.
Yes.
However, Linden is a more not a slow card because either they're gonna give you 1 life back, or they're gonna trash you 1 life, which is helping your game plan. But did Linden come up in those 10 games that you won? Because I would assume
Um, mhm.
you wouldn't need her if you just kill your opponent in time.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But sometimes you're in a situation, especially when you play against Enel in a mirror match, where you need those big bodies at the end of the game. Yeah, and in this tournament, I faced another Enel in my first round. It was a very tough game. I had at the end, I had a board of 5 big bodies. I think I had one of her, one Katakuri, two of Yamato and one Enel at the end who brought me then the win. But I needed her. I needed her to survive and to build my board and finish my opponent. So that's the reason why I play her against opponents like Enel, against opponents yeah, there are some decks not so many people are playing, but you need him against green decks, yeah, with the kit, when they come with the kit and you need big bodies to swing in kit or to survive, yeah.
Understood. Understood.
And that's also the reason why I play this Katakuri two times, yeah, just to put the kid to on his life, yeah, to make my way free to attack for my um, rush characters. Also, I sometimes you could need him to bring something back to your life if you played Onami to gain a banish, or if you played your Kuzuku Hiyori to put something in your life, you can just put it back into your life. So that's a very various card to use. Yeah, but also both just two times, just if in cases you need them.
That's fair. That's fair. I would assume the next card is gonna be Fall of Yamato.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. I think there's nothing to say. Everybody knows why we play her in NL, and you have to play her 4 times. There's no way not to play her, for my opinion. I think there are also lists outside without her, but I don't think that this is working good enough without her. So now that's all for the buddies. Now we just go forward with our event cards. Um, 3 copies of the zero cost event. Yeah, it's nice to have him on Last Life. In one
Match.
game,
Yeah.
in one match, I'm just thinking which one it was. I guess it was against Red Purple Law, correct? Yeah, my second match against Red Purple Law. I just had this card in my Last Life, so he couldn't finish. Yeah, and I had a free way to go into his life and finish him. So this is very, very bad if you for my opponent, if you face this card in life. Also zero cost. I have a lot of cards I can trash.
Yeah. I
If
was
I
about to
don't
say
need, I can. Yeah,
it's a good way of getting rid of cards to counter out if you are full of
correct,
non-counter cards.
correct. And yeah, that's the reason why I play it 3 times. I tried also 4 times, but I think that was too much for this card. So the next one is Amaru. Yeah, well known. Uh, is very various to use. I think my 7th match I just played against Saka. He had a lot of cards in hand. Yeah, I had to finish because he had also a good board. Just one blocker. Yeah, just one. I think it was. I try to remember. I think it was Rebecca. Yeah, I had one life. I had to finish because he had other cards, a lot of cards on board. And then, but I had two of this on my hand, so I gave plus 3,000 for two, plus 3,000 for two, tapped his Rebecca, and gave the rest to my leader, and then I just go all in, yeah, and it worked, yeah.
Fair point. Fair point.
Sometimes,
I mean,
yeah, sometimes you just have to try. You just have to risk something. Yeah, and this deck especially in this variation of game plan, if you have a very aggressive game plan, you have to risk something. Then otherwise, you will not take the win. Yeah, that's how I think about it. Yeah. The next one is the Thunderbolt. 2 copies. And I just play her because I like the artwork. No, I'm just joking.
Thunderbolt. So you have effectively 6 Thunderbolt triggers in your life with
That's
4 of
correct.
me, and
That's
that's
that's correct. That's crazy, yeah, I know, because yeah, that's my way to open the doors to kill the opponent's blockers. in one way, but in another way, a lot of people now will say, no, Thunderbolt, and you can play, you can also play Frappe, yeah, because sometimes you have two life and you need one life to play this Amaru. You need also one life to play this card here, this event card to get your Enel back. But also, but here you can also use this instead of Frappe, and you can kill a 5 cost. Yeah. So
See.
that's the reason why I play this one. And you have also the trigger. Frappe has no trigger. Yes, she has a 2k counter, but this card has a trigger. You can kill something. You can get away from a blocker. You can bring you on one life if you have two life, and then play also Amaru to open the rest and push something to go all in. Yeah.
And I would assume the last event that you're gonna run is gonna be reject. Question is, how
That's
many
correct.
times?
3 times.
3 times. All right. But that's fair.
3 times. Yeah. 3 times. I really love this card. I have to say, in this tournament, I don't or I didn't use this card to finish by getting the last life of my opponent. Yeah. Of course, this is also a reason why I play him. People play this card, yeah. But in this tournament, I didn't do it because I was in many times in positions where I just had to get rid of blockers. You know, the kid blocker from Law or the Zabo. There are a lot of blockers, 5 cost, which you can kill with this card, KO with this card, yeah. And yeah,
I mean,
and
that's a fair point.
the difference between those both is, yeah, you have to for Thunderbolt you have to trash one life, but it just costs two Don. Yeah, so you have enough Don to go all in. With this card, also if you have 10 Don, 4 Don are gone. So you have just 6 Don. If you put them all on, let's say on your NL, he's on 13. So your opponent can also survive and block this, yeah, or counter this.
I mean, it's a
That's the
fair point to
reason.
say.
Mhm.
Um, to run Thunderbolt, because if you go for lethal, you don't really care about your own life. The price to pay to trash one life to KO with 5 cost is, I guess, reasonable. And that 2 Dawn that you save can be the difference maker of like a 2k counter that your opponent is missing out on. I see that. But you mentioned earlier that you would like to use this card if you need to go to the threshold of Amaro and you don't run Flampe. I've seen a lot of people, praise Flampe, especially in like Black Yellow Luffy that also wants to go to 0 life or as low as possible. So did you try out Flampe in your testing and decided it's too slow, it's not beneficial for your gameplay, and that's why you cut it, or you just didn't see it?
So Flampe is a really good card. I don't want to be misunderstood, but I had to decide between those both, and I just had often the situation where, for example, I just prepared for Red Purple Law. I have to be honest. I just prepared for Red Purple Law, Saka and Gecko, and and I just played against them. So that was very lucky for me that I didn't face anything else. So one Enel at the start, but okay. The rest was Law, Saka, 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 Gecko, Gecko, Saka, yeah, and so on. In this matchups, I just thought I have more benefits from Thunderbolt than from having one 2k who takes one life down. Yeah, because the effect to KO a 5 cost, in this case often a blocker, was for me more important than to have another 2k on hand or to have a card which brings me a card and trash one or gives me a one life on hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see that point. I mean, you mentioned it at
Mm.
the start of the deck profile that you wanted to play an aggressive list. So
Yes.
Flampe not giving you the speed, the utility that you need in favoring it for Thunderbolt. I mean, I can see that. And considering that you play 7 rushers, 4 of them are recyclable by did someone say Kami, which in my opinion is one of the best cards printed in EB01 for ENEL. Almost next to I think there's a 6 cost event that just KOs something straight up. But as you mentioned earlier, the current meta is Law, Moria, Black Killer Luffy, and Saka, which most of them have their key pieces in the blockers in S4 and 5 cost. So being able to remove them with Thunderbolt or Thunderbolt in life, Nami, Reject is a good way to push Lethal. And with Enel's ability to be, always safe, you're never dying if you only have 1 life because of your leader ability. And with triggers like Amaru, you're the one who should disappear. It's fine. Also, you mentioned earlier, right? The first match that you faced was a mirror, and then from then onwards, you just face Law, not Kata, Law, Moria, and Sakazuki.
It's okay.
How do you feel that your list is matching against these matchups? I mean, you obviously won all the matchups, but would you change something in hindsight to be more favored towards, for example, Moria in the future?
So OPO7 is just around the corner, so there are some things I have to change, like the reject, and there are some changes I really love to make. For example, the 10 cost ace. So it's just 1 Russia more, and he has a crazy effect. Yeah, so I'm just very happy to play this card in future. Yeah, but to answer to your first question, against red purple law, I would say between those three, yeah, red purple law, Saka and Gecko Moria, I think red purple law is the difficult one, yeah, because he rushes also. He has also a lot of opportunities to do. Yeah, has a lot of blockers. So there you have to be a little bit. Yeah, you have to look that you play right. Yeah. So you can't rush him immediately because often you come in situations where you have to kill, for example, his 3 cost blocker. I don't remember the name. Just
Shoraya. Yeah, no, I see your
yes,
point.
sure, sure, yeah, and you have to kill him with Yamato. Then you have to left him on 2 lives, for example, and to get this benefit from Yamato. If you don't if you aren't fast enough to kill him in the first rounds, yeah, then and you go into the end game, then you have to just look about things like that. But I think Saka was the easiest one with this deck, yeah, because I had 6 Sakas in from 10 games, and I won all of them. Gecko Moria is the second difficult opponent, I would say, yeah, because there you have to be fast. You have to be fast because when he builds his board, he can bring at least 1 character every round, and then if the board is too big, yeah, then he just overrolls you. Yeah, then you have to look that you defeat him fast, that you bring his life down fast, so he has to go on blockers and go on defense. But if you let him just play his game, then he just puts the pressure on you, and then it's not so easy for you to rush him. Yeah, then you have to look that you reduce his board a little bit, and then it's just a hybrid between rush and control. But if in this deck you want to rush, you know what I mean? So that's the reason why you have to be careful and try to make pressure from first round on Gecko, and that's the only way to win against Gecko with this deck, for my opinion. I played against 2 Gecko Morias. The example I gave was with Cracker. He bring me the 1 win, and the second example was with Kikunoju. She brought me the second win against Gecko Moria. So I would say Kikunoju is MVP against Gecko Moria, and Cracker is also nice to have. And like I said, he brought me 1 win in this tournament. against Gecko Moria.
Thanks for your insight. I have one more question for you though. With the current list, how do you feel you're matching up against Black Hero Luffy? Because I think Black Hero Luffy is currently the talk of the town. I'm certain that in Mülheim it's going to be presented, not well represented.
Mm.
So how do you feel against this matchup? Because your plan is to rush them down, while they want to be on zero life so they can start their game plan.
Yeah. So I would say the winning chance against Black Yellow Luffy is 50%, 50-50 for both. Because if he don't see his Sabos and at least 2 times, yeah, that he can defend himself, then you will rush him down, yeah. And you don't need a lot of bodies, yeah. You just need 1 or 2 bodies and put all of your Don on them and give him big hits so that you can just bring him down in the first rounds so that he can't build, yeah, in the I know a lot of people just they didn't want to bring him or don't want to bring him down to zero life because that's what Black Yellow Luffy wants. But if you're able to bring him down before he just had too much on his hand, so before he has a 10 Don turn, I would say you have to bring him down. And after that, with his Gecko Moria and bringing back cards from trash and everything else, it gets very, very hard for this system to win against Black Yellow, to be honest.
All right. Thank you for your insights. And I mean, I should say it again. Thank you for taking your time and doing the deck profile with us. I wish you best of luck if you're playing in Mülheim, this week. And if you have any final words that you want to mention, again, shout outs to like Mana Games or something, that now is the time. So you can go.
Funny. No, thanks for your organization. It was a very nice tournament. Like always, I like to play on your tournaments. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to the next tournaments, and especially to OPO7. The new cards we will get in the next set.
I am also looking forward. I'm also looking forward to it. And with that said, I would like to finish this video. So thank you for that you were taking your time, and I see you guys in the next video. Cheers.
You're welcome. Thanks. Bye.